The smell of roasted turkey filled the house before I even stepped through the door. Every year, Thanksgiving at my parents' place in Cedar Falls felt like a performance. Perfect tablecloth, polished silverware, crystal glasses lined up like soldiers. And my mother, Lorraine Whitmore, standing at the center of it all like she was hosting a televised gala instead of a family dinner. 14 people were already seated when I walked in. Cousins from Chicago, Uncle Raymond from Boston. My sister Claire, of course, glowing in a tailored navy suit even though it was a holiday. She had just made partner at a prestigious Manhattan firm, and my mother had been repeating that fact to anyone who would listen for the past 6 months. And then there was me. I took the only empty chair at the far end of the table. No name card, no introduction. Just a quiet seat between my cousin's teenage son and the mashed potatoes. Claire squeezed my hand under the table. She always did that. Always the peacemaker, always the bridge. Lorraine stood and tapped her glass with a fork. The room quieted instantly. She loved this part. Her lipstick was a bold red, her smile wide and rehearsed. I just want to say how thankful I am this year, she began. Thankful for family, for success, for hard work paying off. She turned toward Claire with theatrical pride. I have 2 daughters, she said. One is a famous lawyer. Polite applause filled the room. Claire smiled tightly, then my mother laughed. And the other is a beggar. 14 people, 14 pairs of eyes. And laughter, real laughter. Not shocked laughter, not nervous laughter. Actual amusement. My face burned. Lorraine waved her hand dismissively like she had told a harmless joke. Now, she continued, let us toast to Claire. The daughter who made something of herself. More laughter, more clinking glasses. I stared at my plate, Beggar, because I ran a community outreach center instead of chasing billable hours. Because I worked with homeless veterans in Des Moines instead of arguing corporate mergers in Manhattan. Because my salary would never match Claire's. Lorraine always believed money measured worth. Claire leaned closer to me and whispered, I am sorry. I forced a smile. It is fine. It was not fine. It had never been fine. The first time my mother called me, that was 3 years ago, when I left my marketing job to start Haven Street Outreach. She said I was throwing away my Ivy League degree to feed strangers. You are acting like a beggar yourself, she had said, living on donations. But tonight she said it in front of 14 people. She raised her glass again. To my brilliant daughter Claire, she declared. And before she could continue, before the laughter could swell again, I stood up. My chair scraped loudly against the hardwood floor. Every head turned. Lorraine looked irritated. Sweetheart, she said in that sugary tone she used when she wanted to sound gracious. We are in the middle of a toast. I nodded slowly. I know, she tried to continue. As I was saying, Claire Mom, I said calmly. Can I ask you one question before you finish? The room shifted. People exchanged glances. Lorraine hesitated. She hated unscripted moments. Fine, she said with a tight smile. Make it quick. I looked directly at her. If I am a beggar, then who exactly have you been borrowing money from for the past year? Silence. Not polite silence, not awkward silence. The kind of silence that feels like the air has been sucked out of the room. Claire froze. Uncle Raymond lowered his glass slowly. My mother's smile faltered. What are you talking about? She said sharply. I did not sit down. I kept my voice steady. Last December, when Dad's medical bills piled up and you did not want Claire to know, who wrote the checks? When the mortgage was 3 months behind, who transferred $20,000 without asking for it back? When you said you were embarrassed to tell anyone, who told you it was okay? The color drained from Lorraine's face. No one laughed now. I looked around the table at every single person who had just laughed at me. I work with people who have nothing, I continued. And they give more gratitude than I have ever seen in this house. Claire slowly turned toward our mother. Mom, Lorraine opened her mouth, closed it. I took a breath. You are right about one thing, I said. I do ask people for money. I ask corporations to donate coats for veterans. I ask restaurants to donate leftover meals so families do not sleep hungry. I ask wealthy donors to fund scholarships. I paused. And you know what they call that? No one answered. Leadership. The word landed heavily. Lorraine tried to recover. This is not the time, she snapped. We are celebrating, exactly, I said. And that is when every smile at the table finally dropped. Because the celebration was no longer about Claire's success. It was about the truth, and the truth had a way of ruining perfect performances. I looked at my sister. You deserve your success, Claire. I'm proud of you, truly. Claire's eyes were glassy. But do not ever let anyone make you think success only looks one way. Then I turned back to my mother. You tried to toast my sister again. But maybe tonight we should toast honesty instead. Lorraine gripped her glass so tightly I thought it might crack. And the next words out of her mouth changed everything. To be continued. No one moved. The turkey went cold. Lorraine cleared her throat. That is private family business, she said stiffly. Yes, I replied. And you made it public when you called me a beggar. Claire slowly stood up beside me. Mom, is it true? She asked quietly. Lorraine's shoulders sagged just slightly, just enough. Your father did not want anyone to know how bad the hospital bills were, she muttered. I handled it by asking me, I said gently, and I never once made you feel small for it. The table shifted again. The mood had completely transformed. Uncle Raymond spoke first. Lorraine, is this true? She shot him a glare. It was temporary. Temporary turned into 11 months. I replied calmly, and I never asked for interest. I never asked for recognition. I looked at everyone. But tonight you all laughed when she called me a beggar. One by one, eyes dropped to plates. Claire reached for her glass, then slowly set it down without drinking. I did not know, she said softly. I know, I told her. That is why I never told you. Because protecting her pride had always mattered to me, even when she protected my humiliation. Lorraine suddenly looked smaller. Not glamorous, not commanding, just tired. You could have said no, she whispered. I nodded, yes, I could have. But I did not, because family helps family. They do not rank each other like trophies. The words hung in the air. For the first time in my life, my mother had no clever reply. No dramatic toast, no audience, just truth. After a long moment, Claire did something unexpected. She turned toward me fully. If she is calling anyone a beggar tonight, she said firmly, then she should call me one too. Lorraine blinked. Claire continued. Because the nonprofit she runs, I volunteer there every month. And the firm I work for just approved a $200,000 annual donation to Haven Street Outreach. Because what she does matters. 14 heads turned toward me again. But this time, no one was laughing. Lorraine looked stunned. You donated that much? She asked Claire. Claire nodded. Yes, and I did it quietly, because that is what real giving looks like. The silence felt different now, not suffocating, revealing. I finally sat down. Mom, I said softly, you taught us to be strong. But somewhere along the way, you confused wealth with worth. Her eyes filled, though she tried to hide it. I never meant to hurt you, she whispered. Intent does not erase impact, I replied gently. Another long pause, then slowly Lorraine stood again. Her movements were less dramatic this time. She lifted her glass, but her voice was no longer booming. I was wrong, she said. Gasps circled the table. I am proud of both my daughters. She looked directly at me. Especially the one who reminds me what generosity really means. No one clinked glasses this time, they simply listened. And when we finally did raise our glasses, it was not to status. Not to titles, not to income, it was to humility. Dinner resumed quietly after that. Conversations were softer, more thoughtful. Later that night, as guests put on coats and said their goodbyes, Uncle Raymond stopped beside me. I am sorry, I laughed, he admitted. Thank you, I said. Claire hugged me tightly before leaving. You are not a beggar, she whispered. You are the bravest person I know. When the house finally emptied, I stayed behind to help clear the table. Lorraine stood at the sink, staring out the window. I walked over. Mom, she turned. I never cared that you borrowed money, I said. I cared that you were ashamed of where it came from. Tears slid down her cheeks silently. I just wanted you to be impressive, she confessed. I smiled gently. I am not impressive. I am impactful. There is a difference. She let out a shaky breath. Maybe I am the one who had something to learn. I squeezed her hand. We all do. That Thanksgiving did not end with applause. It ended with understanding, and the next year, when Lorraine stood to toast again, she said something very different. I have two daughters. One fights in courtrooms. The other fights for people who have no voice, and I am grateful for both. No one laughed that year. Not because they were uncomfortable, but because respect had finally replaced performance. And that was the first Thanksgiving that actually felt like family.